Hi guys, again this is Sir Junel and welcome to our English class, Quarter 3, Week 3. But before we proceed with our discussion, we would like to acknowledge the one who made this PowerPoint presentation. Thanks to Madam Angeline Chiqui Mendoza. So let us now start with our first lesson. Determining social, moral, and economic issues discussed in the text Lesson 2. So at the end of this module, we are expected to first identify the types of issues or problems from the text Lesson 2, classify the issue or the problem based on its types, and assess the listening text in terms of issue or issues discussed in it. Why is listening important for you as a student? As a student, listening is one of the most essential skills, most important skills that you must develop in order to cope with academic work and with everyday life, especially in this time of pandemic. Also, we use it in our everyday communication. So listening is very, very important for you. So at this point, please listen as your teacher reads the news leads. Because after listening to these news leads, there will be questions that follow. Text A. This is from gutmatcher.org by Lawrence B. Feiner and Rubina Hussein. Unintended pregnancy and unsafe abortion in the Philippines. Context and consequences. Despite advantages or advances in reproductive health law, many Filipino women experience unintended pregnancies, and because abortion is highly stigmatized in the country, many who seek abortion undergo unsafe procedures. Text B. Now, let's check your comprehension. First question. What is the subject of each news lead? Have you noticed? Second question. How do you classify each issue presented? Is it economic, moral, or social? What makes you think of this? And what words from the texts support your answer? These questions are very important because that leads us to our lesson proper. We mentioned 3 different types of issues that we encounter whenever we listen to something. So what are those? Let's begin with the first one, social issues. By definition, these are problems that influence a considerable number of the individuals with the society. These are often the consequence of factors extending beyond an individual's control. Here's an example of a news lead. The Provincial Health Office or PHO has reported that there are 90 new confirmed coronavirus disease 2019 cases in the province as of Tuesday, bringing the total number to 323. So the keyword here is the word or term coronavirus. Why is this a social issue? This is a social issue because it deals with health problem, with a health problem that affects many in the community. So please remember that, dear students. If the problem or an issue influences individuals in the society, therefore, that is a social issue. Let's proceed to the second type of issue that we will discuss. This is called moral issue or moral issues. By definition, these are actions which have the potential to help or harm others. Notice that if you have an issue of moral concern, it might involve something good or evil. So here's an example of a news lead. Marriage in the Philippines is a sacred vow. As years pass by, there are married couples who are no longer compatible and happy with one another until it leads to separation. So what are keywords? No longer compatible, separation. So seeing this keyword, seeing the whole news lead, it leads us to think that this issue is a moral issue because it's about family separation or divorce. So please do remember, dear students, that if a problem or an issue has the potential to help or harm others, it is considered a moral issue. So we already discussed two: social issue, moral issue. Let's talk about the third one: economic issues. This refers to any such problem in the economy that is concerned with the production of goods and services to satisfy the unlimited wants of the economy through the utilization of scarce resources. So just remember from the word itself, economic issues has economy in it. The production of goods, services. Now here's an example news lead. It was posted in a news article dated January 29, 2021 that higher prices for fuel and meat, as well as increased Meralco power rates and excise tax or taxes on alcoholic beverages and tobacco, contributed to upward price pressures during the month of January. So what's our keyword here? Higher prices. So this is an economic issue because the problem arises. What is that problem? Inflation. So if the problem has something to do with economy or production of goods and services, automatically that's an economic issue. So please do remember that, dear students. Now, listening to people increases your social awareness and develops an unselfish attitude in you. Remember that. When you listen to people, you develop an unselfish attitude. So, it is just necessary that you can evaluate and think critically what you heard about various issues or problems around you, rather than being a judgmental person. So, an antidote from being a judgmental person is to develop the ability of listening. Listening with a purpose is important, and it gives you a lot of advantages. Now, here are two types of listening strategies. The first one is comprehensive listening. So what is comprehensive listening? It is a type of listening that involves understanding the messages, thoughts, ideas that are being communicated. This is one of the most difficult types of listening because it requires you to not only concentrate but also to actively participate in the process. So remember, comprehensive listening requires you to concentrate and participate. Here are two examples. Taking notes of the speaker's idea during an online class. That is comprehensive listening. So what you're doing right now, if you are taking notes, you are practicing comprehensive listening. Another example is by watching the news about the new variant of COVID-19. These are comprehensive listening because this involves understanding of messages, thoughts, ideas that are communicated. How about the second type of listening? It is called critical listening. It is a process where a listener goes through using careful, systematic thinking and reasoning to see whether a speaker's message makes sense in light of a factual evidence. Examples: listening to a politician's platform during election campaign. Another one, watching a televised debate about legalization of divorce in the Philippines. So, these are critical type of listening because you go through careful, systematic thinking and reasoning while you listen to the message. So again, what are the two types of listening strategies? Comprehensive listening and critical listening. Now, here are steps to follow for critical and comprehensive listening. Number 1. Recognize between facts and opinions. Learn to separate facts from opinion. If something is factual, supporting evidence exists, well, opinions may not be accurate, Andy. So what are the 5 steps in critical and comprehensive listening? Recognize between facts and opinions. Be open to new ideas. Rely on reason and common sense. Take notes. And number 5, listen for total meaning. So that ends our first lesson in this video for module number 4, which leads us to the second module that we will discuss in this video. Analyzing literature as a mirror to a shared heritage of people with diverse background. Quarter 3, module number 5. So at the end of this module, you are expected to this lesson will help you to avoid or to become more acquainted with different literary genres from Afro-Asian countries. You will discover through literature how people from different Afro-Asian countries share the same culture, beliefs, traditions, and values. You will also understand how different literary pieces continue to inspire us and to establish connections among Afro-Asian people. So, Korea. The selection which you are about to read is considered a famous love story from Korean literature. Find out the similarities of Koreans and Filipinos in terms of culture, beliefs, and values as shown in this selection. What is this story? The Tale of Chunyang. So if the pronunciation is incorrect, forgive me, because some of these terms are in Korean. The Chunyangyeon is one of Korea's most iconic stories. Although its author and date of composition are unknown, it most likely originated as a work of pansori, a form of musical storytelling involving song and percussion, and was later adapted into prose during the reign of either King Sukjong or King Yeongjo. The classic love story has since been rendered into several films, plays, and other dramatic forms. Multiple versions exist as well, but they all adhere to the same basic plot. So here is the summary of the Tale of Chunyang. Are you ready? So it goes. During the Joseon, Lee Mong-yong punished the governor and married Chunyang, who remained faithful to him. The end. And let's talk about Afro-Asian literature. Afro-Asian literature reflects not only the customs and traditions of African and Asian countries, but also their philosophies in life, which are predominantly contemplative. Literature brings us to the world of imagination and opens the door of the past to connect us into the present and to the future. The word literature derived from the Latin word lettera, meaning writing formed with letters. Literature is a term used to describe written and sometimes spoken material. It most commonly refers to works of the creative imagination, including poetry, drama, fiction, and non-fiction, journalism, and also song. Literature represents the culture and tradition of the language or a people. Though culture heritage can be passed on from one generation to the other generation, It gives people a connection to certain social values, beliefs, religions, and customs. We can also understand the norms which focus on social behavior of people that is typical or expected of a group. That is why Afro-Asian literature mirrors not only the customs and traditions of African and Asian countries, but also their life. So in order for us to deeply understand literature as a mirror to a shared heritage of people with diverse background, please keep in mind of the following. First, trace our roots. Second, revisit the richness of our past. Third, appreciate our origin. And fourth, connect literature to our lives. So that ends our discussion of module number 4 and module number 5 of quarter number 3, and I hope you learned something new that you can apply in your daily life and in your future endeavors. But at this point, I would like to acknowledge some of my grade 8 Carnation students: Rain Hoson, Angelica Cañete, Lawrence Capiral, Isabel Claro, Cassandra Kailipan, Catherine Camo, Fiona Nicole Camwa, and Jervin Sniper, for always being attentive and for always being active in our online discussions. So once again, thank you, congratulations, and keep it up, guys. So again, this is Sir Junel, and in behalf of all grade 8 English teachers, Ma'am Ann, Ma'am Rochelle, and Ma'am Chiki, we would like to thank you for listening. Please keep safe and keep on learning.